Hello, everybody. I'm Nicholas.
And I'm Lindsay Mead.
And you're listening to Too Bad Pagans Podcast!
Woo-woo!
We're back, everybody.
We are back.
Hello.
We didn't miss last month, did we?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Just the way you said it made me think that we missed a day.
No, we didn't. I just like saying hi.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then.
He's like, oh my god, you're such an idiot right now.
No,
Just
I
move
don't
on.
think those things.
Yes, you do.
Nothing but nice things about people.
You guys should see her face at the moment.
So, before we get started,
Yes.
I want to talk about the incense burner in the room.
Is this like the elephant in the room?
That's what I was going for.
Okay.
But no, it's literally an incense burner in the room.
Yes.
Because we went, I had to go to Barnes & Noble in Lansing, Michigan and sign some copies of my book today.
Yes.
And while we were there, we swung over to the Sleeping Tiger, which if you've never been to, it's a great little shop in a lot of malls, at least around here. Every mall I've been to's had one.
Yeah.
And they sell random statues and things like that, but in the last year or so, they've gone very pagan.
Mm-hmm.
And you can buy pentacles and candles and incense and just...
Little wooden boxes with pentagrams on them.
Mm-hmm. They've really... I mean, they even sell sage there, sage bundles there.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I didn't know they had, which now that I know, I will go there instead of buying them on eBay.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we went there just to shop around, and I saw this... It's a tower. It's like, I would say 2 feet tall.
Yeah, 2 feet. Mm-hmm.
And it looks like this, I don't know how to describe it, just a tower without a pointed top.
Mm-hmm.
And halfway down it, it's wooden, and it's like burnt in the nice kind of decorative way.
Yeah.
And then it's got a whole bunch of holes in it, and then halfway down it's got the goddess symbol, the triple moon symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit lower below that is the actual pentacle, and at the very bottom is a tray for ashes, a little drawer that pops out.
Mm-hmm.
And cost me like $23 total, and
Yeah.
I decided to buy it, and I've never really been into incense, but
Yeah.
I just couldn't let it go. I'm like, I need to have it.
She was determined.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Lindsay, this might be an impulse buy. And she's like, no, I feel good about this.
I did, and I tried to let it go. I'm like, well, let's walk away. I thought I'd find something else, something cheaper that would distract me, and I'd be like, you know what, I really don't need an incense tower.
I don't even
But-
like incense much.
I couldn't let it go.
No.
I'm like, no, I need to have this. I felt like it needed to be mine.
Yeah. And I happened to make the mistake as she was walking up to the cashier. I was like, you get 10 incense sticks free. And Lindsay's like,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. We need to go smell all the incense now.
Yes, I did too. And they have some weird incense.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't even want to say it on here, like named after genitalia and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just out of curiosity, you have to smell it to see
Yeah.
if it's accurate. Which
No.
it wasn't.
No.
But
It's more like stripper.
I'm like, why is this even a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like they'll have a sex on the beach.
Yeah, that
Which-
one was pretty tame, but that's not what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Which
But
what does that smell like? Alcohol? I don't know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't want it to be literal.
Yeah, none of them really smell like what they're...
What their label is. But I
Yeah.
found some good ones that smelled like flowers and stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided that we were going to burn one of the incense sticks during the podcast.
Yes, to be...
I don't know. Just because.
Atmospheric or something.
Yeah.
But we lit it, and we put the on it, and the inside started to billow out the sides. And we both spent a good 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
just staring at it and playing with the airflow so it would
It's a
billow
lot of
different
smoke.
ways. It is.
Yeah. It really builds up in there and then really just puffs
Billows.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I'm like, this is the best purchase ever.
I know. See, I've liked incense for a long time for this reason, because I'm like, ooh, I would play with the smoke, and it will go, this way and that way, and do this or that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been like, well, Lindsay, it's cool. And she's like, I just don't like incense.
Well, I've never liked the smell of it. I mean, even though I specifically picked this stick because I thought it smelled nice, I think it smells like every other incense stick I've ever burned.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. But, a lot of spells call for incense sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been buying incense sticks because you need them. Or I suppose you could always work around it, but I tend to be a stickler sometimes about that stuff.
An incense stickler?
Lordy.
I'm your dad right now. But, yeah, a lot of times I'll see it represent air. The air element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that I know that this looks as awesome as it does, I will definitely be using it all the time. It definitely gives up a very enchanting type spellerific feel.
It does. It's like when you brought over your box of witchy stuff and you open it up and it's like herbs in your face.
Yeah. Herbs and oils, and it smelled awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
it does.
But I can see this sitting on my altar with the smoke billowing out of it and some candles being lit and various tidbits and stuff.
Yeah.
Very
and
magic-y.
I think that's when you know you've made the right purchase, when you can visualize it.
Yeah.
You know, I can see this. I have a purpose for it.
You know what it kind of makes me think of, and this is so nerdy. It makes me think of in Lord of the Rings. I want to say it's Saruman is one of the bad white wizards up in his big tower, and this is like his big tower, and he's at the top of it, and the smoke is his evil magic.
Yes, as he's standing on top of it, going
yes,
and Gandalf and the Fellowship are like, "There's an evil voice on the wind."
Yeah, I brought that into my house. Yay!
Yes. My parents would say so with me,
Yes, but it's very cool, and I would definitely recommend buying it if you ever go to a Sleeping Tiger. It's pretty cool.
They have a lot of incense coffins.
Coffins? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's what they're called. Right?
I don't know. It's just kind of dark. I'm sorry.
Incense boxes, I guess.
We can go with coffin.
Yeah.
I like this is a tower.
Yeah, this is an incense
Definitely not
tower.
a coffin.
No.
I mean, I'm sure in some places they would stand you upside right. You can walk into heaven. I don't know.
I know that at ours they have like some wine bottles that they've cut an end off and some holes in, so it does the same sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But I like this one better.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Lindsay's like, oh, my nose is getting irritated.
It is awesome, and I just wanted everybody to know that we have incense burning in here. So.
Yeah.
We're kind of being good pagans today.
Yeah. I love how we say we're being good or bad pagans, but it really doesn't.
No, of course it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that's the name of the show, so we're sticking with it.
Okay. Back in the day when somebody named Nicholas decided to name the show, we have to deal with it.
Well, I helped, because remember my blog was named A Bad Pagan, or This Bad Pagan.
Yes.
And then we ended up calling the podcast Two Bad Pagans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cracked me up.
Mm-hmm. And like the whole point of the podcast is for us we talk about it, and therefore we improve, and we try to improve these areas of our lives, so we could become the pagans that we've always wanted to be, the ones that we see online or hear in other podcasts, and then we're no longer bad pagans, and then our name just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. we'll be two badass pagans then.
There we go. We'll have to change it.
Yeah.
Because two good pagans is really lame.
Yeah.
I don't want to be called that.
No. Or we could just be two pagans. This is the Two Pagans podcast. Episode 166.
Yeah, very straightforward.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about your life? Update them and all that goodness?
Sure. I just got back from camping. I'm on a mini vacation. Not mini. I'm on a serious vacation from work. It's been like 2 weeks since I've had to work. And it's been amazing. My family goes up camping for a couple of days every year, and I went up with them for a couple of days, and that was really cool, and I'll talk more about that in a second at the end of my talking about life. But now I'm back. I've had a lot of stuff to take care of from the fire, stuff to take to Goodwill, and stuff to throw out, and it's just kind of been in a mess in my side room that I've been ashamed of, so I just close the door all the time so I don't have to look at it. And right now in my life, I feel like I need to shed a lot of baggage and a lot of, burdens that I've been carrying. Just tons of stuff. It's just been weighing on me. So I've been really trying. I was like, I'm going to take some time off work and I'm going to start at least, do what I can, take stuff to Goodwill, throw some stuff away, release that energy back into the world and stop having it weigh on me.
Yeah.
Thank everything for, because I've been trying to thank things. So thank you for being a part of my life. I release you into the.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, I try.
That's good. It's a good way to be.
Yeah, because I don't know, the building that Used to live in, it burned. I talked about it on a couple podcasts ago. But the building has just been kind of standing there, gathering mold and dust.
Mm-hmm.
And they just started tearing it down last week. So it just feels like it's time to move on. It's time to move forward. The grieving is done.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta move on and build something new. So,
yeah.
I don't know. So I've been trying to get rid of things and, thank them for what they've done in my life, but releasing that energy. Like I had notes from high school and all of these programs from plays and musicals that I was in and all this stuff, and I never look at it. It just sits in boxes, like in the corner of my room, and I'm like, this is just tying me.
So you had boxes of things from plays you'd done?
Yeah.
And you got rid of them?
Yeah. Because I didn't want them in my life anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, if you didn't want them, then don't keep them.
Yeah. Well, they were just tying me down. Like, especially some of it, like with friendships I had. And I was thinking about it. I was like, am I keeping these because I wanted to rekindle these friendships or remember what they were?
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like that was distracting me from the now. Like, all of these things were little teeny strings that tied me to my past,
right, keeping
me from my future. So I just wanted to surround myself with things that brought joy into my life. And, like you say on your vlog, seek happiness. I think this was just a step to seek happiness. To get rid of all those old ties. I'm not saying everyone should throw everything that's memorable away, but I've had them in those boxes for 2 years at least, when I transferred them from the old boxes they were in, and then I didn't look at them for like 3 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 5 years, and I haven't looked at any of it.
Yeah.
Why?
I understand that. I have a box of photographs that are like that, and I don't really want them, but I'm not really sure what to do with them. Yeah. Because a lot of them are like from when I was really little. Mm-hmm. And I got them from various family members, like my mom. She didn't want them anymore, so she gave them to me, and I feel like if I get rid of them, they're going to be mad at me.
My mom just did the same thing to me.
Unloaded all that stuff on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom did that a couple years ago.
Yeah, and
I'm like, I don't want pictures of myself as a baby.
Yeah, that sort of burden really frustrates me, especially when it's given by a friend or a family member, when they're like, here, have this thing. Mm-hmm. I don't want it anymore. And I'm like, well, I don't want it either, but I feel obligated to keep it. Yeah. What do I do with it? Mm-hmm. My mom did this thing with like a whole bag of pictures, and I ended up throwing most of them away and then just keeping some of them. I did keep some stuff, but I reduced 2 big boxes down to 1 small file folder. I was so proud of myself.
Good for you.
Yeah, because I think we have to keep some of it, but there's so much crap.
Yeah, it's interesting that you did this recently, because I did the exact same thing.
I know, it's like we're synced up.
Yeah, that's really bizarre. Mm-hmm. I had no idea that you were doing it too. Because I've probably mentioned it before, I have lots of boxes and boxes, and it's just everywhere. Like, you have like a small path to get from point A to point B, because there's so many boxes. Yeah. And I just never had the time or took the time to go through things. And I really made a point of that over the last week. And unfortunately, it was a sacrifice in my writing. I didn't work on my book because I just did that instead. So that kind of sucks. But I got through a lot of boxes. I have a tower of boxes. I'm keeping them for now in case I need them to put Goodwill stuff in. Yeah. But there's like 5 or 6 boxes that are now empty. Mm-hmm. And I've got like 4 boxes to go to the Goodwill so far. Awesome. Yep. And then, because I don't really have a problem saying, keep this or throw that. I don't really have a problem getting rid of things. Yeah. Because a lot of it's just like, I didn't realize I had so much stuff tied to the old me. Mm-hmm. Things that were, like, I used to, like, okay, we both work at the same store. And every year, like, Mother's Day comes around, Mother's Day ends, we end up with all these Mother's Day cards that we can't get rid of, so they go on the break table, and then they're free to take. Yeah. And so after every holiday, I would grab up as many as I could. And we get them for everything. We have, like, Halloween cards, we have, like, April... I had so many Halloween cards. Yeah. Anything with a witch on it, I'm like, I need this. Yeah. But who sends Halloween cards? I really wanted to. Me too. Like, I wanted to send these things out, but then I would forget about it, and the holiday would come and go, and it would be too late. And so I ended up with years of just, like, boxes of this stuff. And I'm like, obviously, I'm never going to send these out. So I need to get rid of them. And like the same mentality has been going on for the last 10 years for various things. I used to collect boxes to put gifts in because giving gifts to people was really important to me.
Yeah.
And having them wrapped really nice. So I had like a whole bunch of this shit that just needed to go.
Yeah.
And I was just surprised the things that I still had. And I was just like, wow, this is like a me that I don't really even remember anymore.
Yeah.
And I just had to go. And then I came across the boxes that had childhood stuff in it. And that was really cool. Some of it, I was like, pictures I didn't even remember. And,
yeah.
Like, I was surprised at the number of Student of the Month certificates I'd gotten in school.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't remember being a very good student. But I got a lot of those. And then, like, but those weren't that... It was just kind of cool to see those. But what were the things that were important to me, like, were my awards for writing. I was surprised at the number that I had. And... And then there was like cheerleading and choir and lots of horse awards and things like that. And I kept all of that. And I have like 2 tubs. They're not very big tubs. Maybe a foot deep is one, and then 3 foot long. Maybe not even, maybe 2 foot long. One of those, and then something smaller, and then I put them in that. So it's a small thing. I decided to keep those because when I looked at them, I got the warm fuzzies.
I think that's important. Yeah.
It wasn't really friend related.
No.
Although I did have, in one of the boxes, though, is a whole bunch of greeting cards. Aww. I kept, like, every card anybody ever gave me, birthday cards and things like that. And I had decided to throw them away a while ago, but then when I was looking at them, I'm like, gee, should I really throw them away? I don't know. So I decided to hold on to them for now. Yeah. But then there's another tub that's just pictures, and that's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if it would be right to get rid of them or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, it doesn't really take up that much space for me, because I have narrowed it down that it's fairly small. You could fit it into a small storage space, closet or something. So I'm okay with it for now. But then I also started some tubs that I got. One I'm really excited about. It's just all Christmas stuff. Aww. And it's like, I'm so cheesy. I'm so excited about it. But it's just like things that I've collected over the years that I just love. And it's like, someday at Christmas, I'm going to have my own place, and these things are going to come out. Yeah. And I've even got a few things for Halloween, but I don't have a tub for them yet. So.
Oh, my gosh. I have, like, 6 boxes of Halloween stuff. I'm such a huge Halloween buff.
It's true, you are. I was impressed last time I came over here for Halloween.
I decorate for Halloween just as much as for Christmas.
It's awesome. I think you and I are going to be the same way. Like, when I finally have my own place again, I bet you I'm going to need a storage unit for all my crap. Yeah. Just for the holidays.
Just for the holidays. Yeah. And I don't even, like, Christmas is nice, and I like family, but I don't like decorating it as much as Halloween.
Oh, no, I love Christmas.
Christmas is not...
Christmas makes me so happy. The only reason we still give presents at Christmas is because I insist upon it. Not because I like seeing people happy with the presents, but because I love wrapping the presents and seeing them under the tree for like 3 weeks or more before Christmas.
I enjoy that, yeah.
I like putting on the Christmas vinyl with the snow outside with Rudolph on the TV. Oh my God. I am so like cheesy about it.
Lindsay and I basically what this comes down to is Lindsay and I are aching for the fall and like winter season.
We are.
Like today we were talking about it in the car. Like we're both looking at clips of old vlogs or editing, vlogs of winter, and we're like, oh, it was snowing. That's beautiful.
It's true.
I wish it would snow again.
Is that a pagan thing that we love the fall season and the winter season so much, or do you think that's just our personality type?
I think it's just our personality type.
I don't know. I wonder. I would love for you guys to let us know if you're not like that. Yeah. Or you are totally like that. I would love to know.
Yeah. Or maybe just appreciating the seasons. I think that would be a pagan thing. Appreciating nature as it passed.
Well, yeah, you'd kind of have to.
Yeah. But...
That's kind of the point.
just a little bit.
But, like, I'm excited to hear, like, I was thinking about this earlier, walking to your apartment and then hearing the leaves crunch underneath my feet.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that cheesy? But it actually popped in my head, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait for that. It doesn't help that this incense, which I just noticed has stopped burning.
It has.
It smells like Halloween to me. And I think it's because it smells like burning leaves or something.
Possibly.
Or wood fire. But for some reason, I'm like, it makes me think of fall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's exciting.
That's exciting. I'm excited for it.
But it's cool that you and I have suddenly decided that we need to clean out our lives. I still have a long way to go, though.
Yeah. What else have you been up to this last month?
I don't know. I am officially down to 23 pounds.
Yay!
Yay, so that's exciting. I was surprised to see that I'd lost more weight, so
yeah.
Got a long ways to go yet, but still very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, the beauty is coming along really well. I'm at 62%, something like that, but it's kind of stalled out.
That's her second book if you're new to the podcast.
Yeah, if you want to read my first book, you can currently purchase on Amazon.com or BN.com. You can get it paperback or ebook.
Yes. It's called The Beast.
It is. It's a fairy tale retelling of Beauty and the Beast.
Yep. By Lindsay Mead. Check it out.
It's good.
It is good. I was on vacation with my family and I was like, hey, check out this book that I was acknowledged in. You should totally read it. Which is why I don't have my copy at the moment, because I was like, sister-in-law. She's like, what should I read? And I was like,
You forced it on her?
Yes. I was like, Hellhounds, Beauty and the Beast, and fantasy and magic and steampunk. Can you go wrong?
No, I don't think you can.
My friend wrote it. BTW. Go read it.
BTW.
And she's like, oh, I'm in this. I can read it. I'm like, you should, and you will like it.
My family is currently reading it. I didn't tell them they had to. I just kind of let it be what it was going to be. If they wanted to read it, they could. If they didn't want to, they didn't have to. Because they're not really big readers. But my mom's reading it, my grandpa read it, my sister's reading it. And they're all kind of geeking about it right now. And
that's awesome.
It's cool. It was so weird for me, though.
Yeah.
It's so weird for me. And then, like, I go to see my family, and it's like they're all, like... They look at me with, like, starry eyes or something, like suddenly I'm this big celebrity, which I'm not at all. But that's the way they look at you, and it's just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Just my family, by the way. It's not like I'm going places and people are seeing me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying my family specifically.
Yes.
She finished a book.
She's finished. It's on the bookshelves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's cool. I appreciate the support.
But... You could tell them what we did today.
Well, I did. We went to Lansing and I signed the books, and then we went over to Sleeping Tiger.
Oh, you did?
I did. See? Way to pay attention, Nick.
I'm the one with short-term memory loss here. I just want the world to record this for a moment that I'm the one that forgot.
Yeah, it's because it doesn't happen very often. It's usually me.
I'm usually the one that's like, we already talked about this. And Lindsay's like, we did? Shut up.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
Okay, let's go with it.
Okay, whatever.
Yep. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else I have really to report.
Yeah?
Nothing that I can think of anyway.
Good times.
My sister's bachelorette party is coming up this Saturday.
Yay.
Yeah.
We love her.
Yeah, I love my sister. I don't know if I'm just getting old or what, but I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to go clubbing.
Yeah.
If it were my bachelorette party, I'd be like, let's go over to Nick's and we're just gonna get shit-faced in his apartment. I'm like, that's all I need.
Yeah.
I don't need to be going to clubs and strip clubs.
Drinking your way under the limo.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah.
It's a nice idea in theory, but I don't know. I'd rather be sloppy drunk at home.
People are gonna see me out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, so I have that to look forward to, or to get through, whichever way do you prefer to look at it.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Also, from last month, I don't think we assigned homework last month.
No, we've been through this a few times today, Nick. Remember?
I know. I'm transitioning. This is a transition.
I didn't have any homework last month because I'm a bad pagan host, okay? I think he just wants to rub that in.
Well.
It was her idea, and she doesn't even bother to come up with anything.
We didn't have homework, but in the past month, pagan related, I have really been trying to work on my reading of the tarot. Because I usually use the Raider White deck, or there are a couple of names for it, but that style of the tarot. So I've been trying to learn more about what each card means, so that I can read it actually, instead of having to look at my book and say, oh, this is what this card means, and this is what this card means. So I've really been working on that, and I'm really excited about it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I haven't really done anything pagan-wise.
You bought an incense tower?
Well, I did, yeah. That makes me pagan. Yeah. I bought something. No, now that I think about it, I haven't done anything pagan-related. I mean, aside from trying to clean up my life. which to me
is important.
Yeah, it's all about getting myself into a good place. So, and it's been on my mind. Yeah. Now that I have this incense tower, I bet I'll do a spell pretty soon.
Yeah.
Just so I can use it. I bet you I'll suddenly really clean up my altar and get it all set up, get the incense burner going, and then take pictures.
Do it for the vlog.
Yeah, I'll put it on Facebook, but look what a good pagan I am.
You won't put it on Facebook.
No,
You'll
probably not. I'm
Twitter.
Well, Grandma might see it, so maybe I shouldn't put it on Facebook.
You'll put it on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll put it on Twitter. Twitter's safe. Nobody's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Nobody in my family, anyway. They don't understand Twitter.
Yeah.
They think Twitter's still about taking pictures of your food.
Some people still think that, yeah.
Well, people who aren't on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't really see too many food pictures on Twitter. I think Twitter's more about just marketing yourself and then being near people that are marketing.
I suppose.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's not what this show's about.
What?
Although I follow a shit ton of pagans on Twitter.
Oh, you do?
I do, yeah.
That's cool.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I always say that Twitter's not about being followed. Like, Facebook is about being followed, but Twitter is about following people. So you find people that, not even, it could be people, TV shows, that sort of thing, anything.
Yeah.
That you're interested in, they're talking about things you're interested in, and then you follow them. And I follow quite a few popular, there are everyday pagans that are just talking about their own lives. They're not really anybody in, particular.
Yeah.
And then I follow some well-known witches and warlocks and whatever they call themselves.
Our show should have a Twitter.
It should. Wonder why it doesn't. Would we ever even use it?
Probably not.
No.
Probably just say, we're recording. Does anybody have any questions for us to answer on the air?
We'd have no followers, so nobody would answer.
I love it, which I used to follow back when Twitter was first getting big. I used to follow a lot of podcasts that did that. Oh, we're tweeting out, we're recording. And I would always see it 6 hours later after they stopped recording.
It's too late, yeah.
Oh, it cracked me up.
I follow a couple of podcasts, pagan podcasts on Twitter. But I follow too many people, and I'm not. It says I followed 500 and some people, and I don't know how that happened. So I'm I feel like I need to go through it, and if I don't remember who these people are, I should just remove them right away.
Yeah.
If I can't I immediately identify them, they need to go.
Yeah. Maybe you could.
And sometimes I wonder if Twitter automatically makes you follow people. It sneaks people into your feed.
It keeps suggesting people. There's a lot of people, because it knows my other social media networks, it's this person's also on Twitter. You should follow them. And I'm but I don't use Twitter to talk to people that I know.
Right? I know. There was a while they were my mom and my brother and my sister all suddenly signed on for Twitter at the same time and all started following me. And I'm son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Now I can't say the things that I want to say. When I'm at my family's house and I'm bitching about them bitching about politics, I go onto Twitter and I do that because nobody's going to see it. And I'm now I can't do that because they might see it.
Yeah.
They didn't stay on Twitter for very long. So.
That's good.
Yeah, I think they still have accounts, but they don't ever use them. So, except for maybe my sister, but she's cool.
Yeah, she is cool. She knows about the paganism and the.
Yeah, she knows all my deep dark secrets.
Yeah, it's good to have.
Even more than Nick knows.
For now.
For now, he's I'm working on weaseling my way.
I've got it. Just give me another year or two. We'll get there.
Well, when you're my assistant, you'll have to know all of my secrets so that you can keep them from getting out in the public.
This is true.
Or when I'm not home, you'll just go through all my stuff and figure it out anyway.
Well. She told me to organize these, but I will just put them in the blackmail folder.
There you go. You save it.
Yeah.
And it's just a big black folder.
With one of those top secret logos that they have.
Save for when Lindsay pisses me off.
Lindsay, you can't fire me. You need to get me a new Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Or I'll tell the world. And you'll be you can tell the world I don't care.
You just created this whole drama in your head just now. He's played the whole thing out.
Well.
So, yeah. I don't know how we got here from homework, but... So, no, we didn't have any homework last month. Let's get this train back on track here.
We're bad pagans.
I don't know where
I was good with this bunny trail. I had a good dramatic moment in my mind.
I know you did. I was whoa, stop. Get it back on track.
So Lammas is coming up.
Yeah. You barely got it together and you're transition.
And then she looks at me what? Oh. I see what you're doing, and I just cracked up.
Yes. So, August 1st.
August 1st.
Is Lammas, or pronounced
I always heard
Lugnasnaba.
but I totally don't think that's actually... Again, we talked about it before. Lindsay and I are brick learn pagans. The red brick learn pagans. We're book learn pagans.
Yes.
So we know the words and we're familiar with them. We just don't know how to say them.
We just can't pronounce them, yeah.
Yeah. So forgive us. But
there's just a bad one anyway. Llamas. It makes me think of llamas. It does every time I see
llamas.
it. They spit.
I had a good friend who was a llama.
You had a good friend who was a llama?
Yeah.
That makes it sound like you had a very sad childhood. Ironically, we had a llama growing up too, but he was a real... he spit all the time.
I used to work at a farm, and there were 6 llamas on the farm. I forget. There were several llamas on the farm.
We just had the one.
Yeah, and... most of them were complete assholes.
They were. Yeah, they're not nice at all. They are mean animals.
And then there was the one who was the oldest guy, and he would come over and he would say hi to me, and he would sniff me, and, like, hey, dude, how's it going? I'm going to, see how you're doing. Because he was kind of the herd sire. Mm-hmm. Is that the word?
Sure.
So he would come over and check me out, and then he'd just hang out with me, and I'd be like, hey, man, how's it going? I'm shoveling your poop.
So, Lammas is August 1st.
So, homework for next month.
That would be it.
Yeah.
Do something.
Do something.
Whatever it is, do something. Mm-hmm. Oh, now that I have this incense tower, I'm like, ooh, I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm going to do something.
Do something. I think it's next Friday. I forget. I don't know. Anyway, it's coming up. It's the first of our 3 harvest festivals, and it's one that celebrates grains. So I think I'm going to bake some bread and say a prayer and stuff.
I don't know what I'll do.
Yeah, something with an incense tower.
Well, yeah, definitely. I've been wanting to do that weight loss spell forever, mm-hmm. and that requires the burning of an incense stick. Mm-hmm. So, that would kind of make sense. You could really construe that because you did say it was the first of 3 harvest festivals. Mm-hmm. So, I could be asking the universe to harvest some of the fat from my body so that I no longer have it.
I don't think that's what it means.
It could. Why not? This body has been bountiful. Take some of it away.
I've had a lot of grains in my time. Harvest the grains from my body. Let them be released.
I don't see why that's a problem. I could see it happening.
Anyway.
Well, we are bad pagans, so if that just made you angry.
Yeah.
Oops.
We're sorry. Send us a letter.
Yeah, send us a letter.
So we know. Lindsay won't have to deal with it. You can
send your hate mail to twobadpagans.blogspot. No, what is it?
twobadpaganspodcast@gmail.com.
There we go. That's where you send your hate mail.
Or you can comment on our blog at twobadpagans.blogspot.com. Or if you just like to write us for any reason whatsoever, feel free. Either of those places.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be hate mail.
No, please, no. Don't send us hate mail. You can if you want.
You backpedal.
Anyway, the little book that I was reading about Lammas was saying, a lot of, in our history, harvesting grain was a really big deal, for survival and whatever, but in our modern time, it's not as big of a deal. So, it talks about appreciating the food we have, and...
Well, clearly I did that already, so...
There you go again.
Sorry, go ahead.
Appreciating what we have, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hooray.
Okay.
Do some homework. We'll do some homework. Email us or comment on our blog. Tell us how it went. That would be
We'll talk about it next month.
And we'll talk about it next month.
Yeah.
In our homework segment of the show.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you want to do listener mail next?
Listener mail. Sure.
Okay.
I can do that. We still have...
We have half an hour.
Yeah, we have half an hour to talk about stuff. We got a wonderful email from Danny. He's emailed the show before talking about time slowing down, I believe. And he says, congrats to Lindsay for getting your book out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
He talks about how he went to a Lindsay Sterling show and it was awesome, and we agree.
That is awesome.
He had some thoughts about eBay and Etsy, and we appreciate your input, but we wanted to spend a lot of time on your topic for the show, so we're going to go on to that. He gave us a not a side topic. He asked us to talk about something on the show, so we're going to spend most of the rest of the show talking about it.
Or at least until we run out of things to say about it.
One of these is more accurate than the other. He says, having come from a strong Christianity background and family, converting was hard, and there are lots of things that he struggles with. He's found peace with the major issues that you would have when changing religion, but now he's working through some of the smaller things that are more difficult to resolve. He says his biggest issue is prayer, which was a big part in Christianity, and he's continuing that in his practice, but directing it to the goddess. He says he doesn't know how to address her and how to close a prayer when it's not to the Christian God. He says, when I'm talking this way, it always sounds like a bad formal letter. When with Christianity, you can just address Jesus, which is a little easier, but there are unlimited gods and goddesses you can address in paganism. He says, I guess that's on me to find one in particular. And then he asks what our thoughts are. And then he says, love the podcast. Keep it up. So thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Yep.
So do you want to give your opinion first?
There's a lot of things he asks us to do, but I can give a general opinion, and we can go from there. He says he's been directing it to the goddess and how to address her. If I'm not speaking to a particular entity, I always just address it to the goddess power or to the lady, signifying the feminine aspect of what I think is the spiritual power that binds us all together.
Yeah.
Because I think that's all the god and goddess are, is masculine and feminine qualities of the same force.
Yeah, and I think it's the Scott Cunningham school of thinking that says that the god and goddess is one being.
Yes.
And it's just a different aspect. And so arguably, if you're worshiping a specific god or goddess, you're just worshiping a specific aspect of the same being. They are all one. They all come from the same thing.
Yes.
When I pray, I have no problem whatsoever with prayer. And I don't know. I pray a fair bit.
Yeah.
Just if I'm scared or if I'm worried about something or if I just need to be positive, I make it the form of a prayer, and I always dear Lord and Lady is how I begin it.
Yeah.
I'll say thank you, Lord and Lady. I don't want in my head. I mean, they are the same being, but I see them as being separate. I have different visuals for each one.
Yeah.
And if I gear it towards just the Lord or just the Lady, I feel bad for the other one. So I'm like, I don't want to leave them out. So I gotta include them every time.
Yeah.
So I keep it pretty generic most of the time. Even when I do spells, though, I don't usually bring in specific gods and goddesses. I'm not against it. I just don't. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak to me quite the same way as just seeing the Lord and Lady and the jewels I have for them.
Yes. I tend to agree with you on that. And I think that's how I always pray. And sometimes I don't even begin it with dear this and this. I just start.
Yeah.
Like, bless this food to my body as I put my energy into it, bring your energy into it, help it benefit my, things like that. And then I'll say thank you to Lord and Lady, or, it's just, for me, it's a very fluid thing. As I'm doing something, I put a blessing to it, or, that sort of a thing. Or as I was cleaning the house, it was almost like I was burning sage and doing a cleansing spell, because it was like, thank you for your energy, be released. And I think that's a bit of a prayer as well.
Yeah. Not
necessarily to the Lord and the Lady, but to the object that you're interacting with, saying,
right.
Thank you for your time. I release you. But I think with prayer, as far as the structure, you can do any range of thing that you want. You can make it uber formal, or you can make it uber simple. So I'm going to compare this to Christianity because that's sort of what we're relating this message to. But you could be like Catholicism, where you write it down and build a ritual out of. Mm-hmm. So you have the incense burning, you have constructed your circle, you posted watchmen on the towers. You can make it a prayer like that, if that's what suits you better, or you could make it more informal as you're going through your life and just call to them, just speak to them like a friend if you want,
right.
Mm-hmm. I think it really depends on how you interact best.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the key with paganism is you're supposed to find what works for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm very much a feel emotional type person. Mm-hmm. We talked about it with the tower. I'm like, no, I feel like this should be mine. Like, I feel like this is the right thing to do is to buy it. Mm-hmm. And when I said, well, let's look around, I was give myself a chance to forget about buying this incense burner and to look at something else.
Yeah.
It was also, I'm giving myself a chance to let the emotions figure their way. And I need to, what is it am I feeling here? Do I feel like I should be buying it, or do I feel like it's just an impulse buy and I'm telling myself that I want it when I really don't?
Yeah.
And I just had to give it time to figure it out. So I think it's very much about just feeling what's right for you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of spells and stuff work on intuition.
Yeah.
And that's all about what you feel. Mm-hmm. So just to be aware of it and then to try and make something work for you the best way that you can. And I think that's the universe will respond to that.
Yeah.
And the energies around you will respond to that.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you're maybe thinking too much about this.
Me or him?
Him.
Okay. I'm like, I don't think I'm thinking at all. I'm just feeling.
You're just feeling. But you say it sounds kind of like a bad formal letter, and I think everyone starts out that way where you just start with what you know and it just doesn't kind of feel right.
Right.
But just keep trying and try new things.
Yeah, I always put an emphasis on intent when I pray. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not going to say things right. I'm a better writer than I am a speaker.
Yeah.
And I just try to put as much emotion behind what I'm saying as possible. Mm-hmm. If I'm pleading for help, I try to really focus on what it feels like to need help.
Yes.
And that desire, that desperation, I try to put it behind my words to put it out there. Mm-hmm. Or if I want to feel happy and I'm trying to ask for money or ask for help with weight loss or whatever it is, mm-hmm. then I try to, feel how happy it would feel to have those things. Yeah. Or if I just want to say thank you for making me happy, I try to generate those emotions inside me. Mm-hmm. So even if the words come out jumbled and stupid, then my intent is still very clear.
Exactly. And I think, I don't know, it's just one of those difficult things. Because sometimes I just want to go with my gut and pray as I'm doing, or if I'm at work, all that sort of thing. But sometimes I really respond to ritual and thought out behavior, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes I think if a prayer is important to me, I'll, write out a bit of something in my book of shadows, and I'll at least light a candle or some incense. Mm-hmm. It just depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But I think the universe is out there for you. I think the universe is out there for all of us, and we're connected to it. And prayer is just seeing outside of ourselves and connecting to it.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I want to share this story.
Okay.
It is a Christian Catholic story.
Okay.
But even though it's geared towards that religion, I think it kind of works for all religions,
okay,
in my opinion. And it also speaks to the whole prayer thing, which is interesting because I read it 2 days ago.
Okay.
So there's this young girl, I think she was 18 or something. She might even been younger. Mm-hmm. She was hit by a drunk driver, mm-hmm. and she's stuck in her car. Her car was, I saw the pictures, it was a mangled ball of metal and awfulness.
Can I just stop you for a second?
Uh-oh.
I think it's incredible that humanity has progressed to where something could happen to someone on the other side of the globe and we can see pictures of it. I remember
technology.
I know. I remember when I was a kid, people would just say, "Oh, it must have been terrible. I would have liked to see, I would have liked to have seen that." But no, we don't even have to worry about that anymore. Our morbid curiosity can just be
gotta be on Facebook.
Yeah. Continue.
And then not resist the clickbait titles. Which in this case, I totally failed there. Man, I hate those titles. Anyway, so she's stuck in this car, and she's surrounded by various paramedics and policemen and stuff, and they're trying to get her out of the car, but they can't. Mm-hmm. Their equipment is not strong enough to separate the metal, and she's stuck there, and she's bleeding, and it's not looking good for her whatsoever. And comes from a religious family, and she asks if they could pray. And it kind of sounded like she's not going to survive. So the policemen and the firemen and everybody kind of gathers into the car, and then she wants to pray out loud. She wants to be loud about it. And I don't remember specifically what they prayed for. Probably just the usual stuff, blessings and for help and guidance and being grateful and things like that.
Yeah.
And she said it out loud. And then like a minute or so after that, a priest shows up. And, I mean, he's got the full priest garb on him. And he walks up to the police officer and he says, "May I have your permission to anoint her?" And the police officer is a little bit hesitant because he doesn't want the girl to think that they have called a priest to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Because they had actually called other fire departments from other towns to come and try and help. But he decides, well, go ahead. I think he thinks we'll comfort her. So this guy walks up to her and he, has this bag of anointing oil, and then draws a cross on her forehead and says a prayer with her, and the police officer said that she had this look of peace on her face and she just felt good, and he told her not to worry, that she will be fine, and that the police officers the firemen will get her out of there. And then the priest left, and the fire station showed up and they got her out of there and she was fine.
Wow.
And they all wanted to find who this priest was to thank him for coming and for giving her this kind of closure or this support.
Yeah.
And so they put this post out on Facebook asking for people who knows who this guy was. They called all the surrounding churches. Nobody knows who he was. There was a whole bunch of pictures and footage taken from the scene. He's not in any of them. So they're calling it a miracle, a modern day miracle, that she prayed and somebody came.
Yeah.
And gave her comfort. And I think, and the point of that article, I think, and the message that the girl was getting from it was to pray out loud. We always pray inside. We say it in our heads, but we don't actually say it out loud. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And something that I had even been thinking about recently, the power of saying it out loud, the more intent that you put behind it, which I think in today's society we're so self-conscious.
Yes.
That you don't want to be heard praying, and what if you sound stupid, and what if someone makes fun of you, and it's so old school.
The judgment.
Yeah, so you don't. And I don't know. Just something I think there is to think about.
Yeah.
And maybe, at least by yourself, work on saying it out loud. I don't know. Take from it what you will. I thought it was an interesting story. And
yeah. I remember hearing about it now that you finished.
Yeah.
I was like, this is sounding familiar.
Well, it kind of went viral on Facebook, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Part of me is like, he's a Time Lord.
You got nerdy about it.
I know. I don't even like Doctor Who, but I was like, I just remembered, I forget which doctor it was.
I don't know.
There's an introductory episode to a new doctor, and they're like, there's this guy that's in all of these pictures, but it's from spans the 1940s all the way to the 90s.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, it's this doctor. It has to be this doctor, but Doctor Who.
Oh God, that's so cheesy.
It is. It's wonderful. Anyway.
Doctor Who.
I know.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Well, Anyway.
So, staying with the prayer thing, I've mentioned this before. I learned from a man named Dr. Wayne Dyer. He does self-improvement and self-help.
Yeah.
And he's a religious man, but he's a spiritual man. Talks about all sorts of different religions. Everything there is under the sun he talks about.
Yeah.
And the teachings from various philosophers and religious leaders and things like that. And he focuses a lot on intention and being positive. And one of the things he said to do is that if you're walking along and you see a penny on the ground, to pick it up, don't ignore it, pick it up, and then see it as a sign of abundance coming to you. And take the time to thank the universe, the Lord, Lady, whoever, for sending this sign of abundance, and that you accept it and you were grateful for what comes your way, and so on and so forth. So anytime I find any sort of money on the ground, I pick it up and I do that. And the last couple of times, I've kind of tried to progress to at least whispering my thank you for it, and then really taking 2 seconds to close my eyes and to put that thought in there and to be thankful and grateful for what's coming. And then I keep that penny. I put it in my name tag because I usually find money at work. Pennies, not like serious cash here.
Oh, I found $100 bill.
Thanks for this sign of abundance.
Sitting here.
Into my pocket.
There's not a problem here.
Yeah, and if I find a dime, I'm like, this is some major sign of abundance coming my way.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Interesting.
I was once going down the road and I saw a $5 bill on someone's lawn. I've stopped my car and jumped out and got it. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord. I appreciate the sign of abundance.
Well, listen to musical.
It is in my head.
I can see that. Like, every spell or prayer you do is just this big musical number.
Choreographed.
Everything.
I'll even have backup dancers.
Oh, man. It's a big production.
I'll be like, do you watch Phineas and Ferb at all?
No.
No, okay. I'll be like Doofenshmirtz. For those of you who have kids and have seen Phineas and Ferb, I'll be like
You don't have kids, just for the record. You watch it on your own.
Shut up, it's a good show. I'll be like Doofenshmirtz, who has a whole musical number set up for his arch nemesis. He does. It's awesome. It makes me laugh. Like with background dancers and stuff. And like at the end of it, sometimes they'll be walking away leaving and she's like, no, it's this much. I'm part of the guild, or not the guild, the union. She's like, I'm union. And he's like, oh, whatever. It's so beautiful.
Probably have to be there, right?
Yeah. Lindsay's like, oh my God. What is wrong with you?
Where is this podcast gone?
We're bad pagans. We don't have to be.
We don't have to be good at what we do.
Yeah. I think that's why people like us, because we're like just casual.
Well, that's what I like about us. We would never be good at being like strict about what we talk about.
My name is Dr. Fraser. Please tell me what's going on.
I'm listening.
I'm listening.
We've been watching Frasier, in case you haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
We watched a couple episodes last time I was here, and I don't think Nick liked it. But then we watched a couple more today, and he seemed to really be enjoying it.
I'm psychic.
Now he's quoting it. He's never going to stop. I've created a monster.
You have. I'll watch all however many seasons and quote some random episode, and you'll be like...
It's true. It'll be you'll get like 7 seasons, like in like 2 days, and then you'll be quoting it to me at random, and I'll be like, "What are you doing?"
I'm laughing so much because I can see it happening. Anyway.
I can too. It's definitely going to.
So, Danny, I guess what we're saying is try several different things and just pay attention to how you think the universe is responding to you, how you feel. Because that, in the end, what else is there to measure success by? You know, how you feel about it, I think. So, try a couple of different things. We both came from Christian backgrounds, so I think we both a little bit know what know what's going on. And it's a bit weird for me to not end something with amen.
I know, right? I always want to be like, blessed be amen. And it's been like 10 years since I was a Christian, but I still I want to do that. And then when like when I'm really scared, because my mind, just for the record, it has no control, and like I will freak myself out. I'll see the most terrible things in my head, and just scare myself shitless. And like when I am like that scared, I feel like I need to cover all my bases. And I'm gonna pray to every God I can think of, Christian or otherwise, and make sure I sign off in every single way, so that way the message is heard. Yes.
I'm covered with everything. That's hilarious.
I'm not leaving you out. You're in here too.
But I mean, I think there are like Christian pagans who believe in a lot of pagan things, but also believe in a lot of Christian things. I don't think it's weird to exclude the Christian pantheon just because you believe more pagan-ish or include certain elements of it. You know, I mean, we include elements of like Egyptian pantheons and Greek and Roman and
right.
Celtic, and I don't know, it just seems weird to...
Yeah, the only reason I can see that people really exclude the Christian mythology is because people come from a bad background with it.
Which is why I don't.
Right, and then, or because there are aspects of that religion that speaks out against paganism.
Yes.
But I'm sure you can find that with probably every religion.
Yeah, but, you know, there are also witches in the Bible that aren't, you know, they're good people that people go to for advice, who conjure up the dead and do cool shit like that.
And do cool shit like that.
Seriously. You know, I don't know. And that's why I don't incorporate any Christian teachings in my personal practice, because Christianity just doesn't work with me. It gets me in a really negative, depressed, self-destructive place. And that's why I moved to paganism, because it makes me feel good about life and about myself, and it works with me, not against me.
Right.
So I don't include it, but I don't see why other people would. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't want to dissuade you from including things like, or, you know, if it's angels you want to include, or...
Yeah, I see, Nick and I are very different in that aspect.
Yeah.
Because he has a very negative viewpoint from where he comes from, but I don't. And my statue for the goddess is Mary. Mm-hmm. And technically she's holding a baby, and that's the god to me as well. So, and when I picture my visualization of what is the Lord and what is the lady, I picture Mary as the lady, and I picture the actual traditional viewing of Keranos.
Oh.
No, Michael's an angel. He is not a god.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
You know, the guy, the hot guy with the abs and the horns.
I'm face palming right now for those of you who can't see me.
I'm just being honest here. So they make an interesting pair, yes. But that's what feels comfortable for me, and I'm cool with that. And I know that some people don't like that, and I don't really care. It's not their faith, it's mine. It's what works for me.
Yeah. Which is the beautiful part about paganism.
Yes, I think so too. And I still pray, I mean, I still believe in angels. Mm-hmm. And I occasionally pray to Michael, which is an archangel. And that dates back to when I first started paganism or Wicca or whatever. Because I did an archangel oracle reading. And I drew Michael in the reading.
Interesting.
And the guy that was teaching me about Wicca and witchcraft, he said that card is very important because it's an archangel card and those are rare. So you really have to pay attention to those. And we pulled out the book, and what did it mean? And it said that if you pull the card of Michael, that he is watching over you, and that he has always been watching over you from the very beginning, and he will continue to watch over you. And if you ever need help, just say so, and he is there to protect you from all negative entities and whatever. So, which was interesting to me because when I was younger, because I've always had this problem with my brain scaring me, and when I was younger, it was much harder for me when I was younger, and I would lay in bed with the lights out, and I'd get so scared, so I'd picture an angel with me lying on the bed next to me on top of the covers, and his wings would spread out over the bed, and if anything dove at him, it just bounced right off. Nice. It could not get past his wings. And I always pictured it as a guy, never as the traditional beautiful woman that is the angel. And I realized looking at the picture that I was picturing Michael the whole time.
Interesting.
Yes. So, I mean, you could argue that that's just because I grew up Catholic, so I was surrounded by images of Archangel Michael in stained glass windows and things, and it just got in there, which
maybe it
could be, or I think that maybe I was subconsciously picking up on whatever this was. So I bought myself a statue of Michael. I've got a little medallion that sits in my car that asks him to watch over me, and whenever I get scared or I feel like there's negative entities in the room, that's where I draw my safety and my power from.
I always had this theory about kids that they have a heightened awareness of the spiritual plane, because you hear so many stories about kids who see fairies and kids who do this or kids who do that. And part of me is wondering if it's just a spiritual plane that kids' imaginations mold into, or if it's that they can sense it, or you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But as we grow up, we tend to grow out of that. And I've always wondered why.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's something about, I don't know. Something I'll have to think about.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a topic for the future.
For the future.
Future podcasts.
Future podcasts in the future.
We never need like transition music or segment music because we have you.
Yes, I am happy to provide it to the world. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. So I think what the ultimate thing is, what we're trying to say to everybody with all this, is do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't worry so much about what other people think.
Don't worry about what we think.
Right. Don't worry about what you feel or what you think is right.
Yes.
Just go with what you feel and just don't worry so much about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to say pretty words or have pretty handwriting or get things just right.
No.
The Lord and Lady, they don't really give a shit. I think they're pretty cool with it.
Yeah. I think sometimes the universe is just happy to be acknowledged, is the way that Lindsay's trying to say it.
I think because, I don't know, I think it's just a human thing that we just feel the need to be perfect and to mold ourselves into what we think, what other people think it's supposed to be.
But we're not perfect.
No. And none of us know what the heck we're talking about.
And we're all individuals.
Mm.
Anyway.
So don't worry so much about it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, guys.
Do what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And smile while you do it.
And email us.
And email us.
Let us know how it went. We would be happy to hear from you.
Do what you're going to do. And then email us about it.
Because I would love to hear it. I love it when we get listener mail.
I do too.
So
especially since they provide us with topics, so we don't have to do that.
Well, a list of topics.
Sure we do.
We used to.
We used to. I actually deleted mine a long time ago. I was like, we're never going to use this.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just make shit up.
Yeah. Or wonderful people email.
Yes, you can give us topics.
Yes. If you'd like to email us, we'd love to hear from you. Again, our email is toobadpaganspodcast@gmail.com. Feel free and comment on our blog at toobadpagans.blogspot.com.
Mm-hmm.
Links for everything will be at our blog spot. If you'd like to get in touch with me, feel free and send us an email at the aforementioned Too Bad Pagans address, because I check that all the time, and I always forward it to Lindsay right away and look, somebody cared!
It's true.
Yeah.
He does.
I check it all the time. Or you can access my blog over at justelevatormusic.blogspot.com. There might be a YouTube vlog coming in the next week or so.
Yep.
Links will be up on the Too Bad Pagan site blog when it goes live. How can people contact you?
The usual stuff. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. But I have a daily vlog where you can check in to see what I'm up to and sometimes what Nick is up to. And that's by searching Lindsay Mead on YouTube. That's LINDSAYMEAD. Mm-hmm. And please subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe and share, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and do the same to our podcast. If you're on iTunes, subscribe to us, comment on us, leave a review. We love hearing from you guys.
Mm-hmm. We sure do.
Yes. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in this month.
Thank you.
Blessed be.
Love and light.